This is the GTN Show and a very exciting one indeed. Mark, do you want to break the news?
Oh, yes, I do. We are going to be announcing and introducing our brand new GTN presenter to join the team.
Woohoo.
And once we've got over the excitement of that, we also have a packed tri-news, a significant step forward for the sport of triathlon with the first female African-American athlete to turn pro, plus a mega triathlon, just a crazy length triathlon, and obviously a ton of race news.
Yeah, and on top of that, we've also got our new React section where we're going to be having a look at what all the pro triathletes are up to.
Okay, we have some big news, mega news in fact. This one has been a while coming. We have a new presenter joining Heather, Fraser and myself on the GTN team. You'll likely have heard of him. In fact, I'm pretty sure you will have heard of him. He knows a fair bit about triathlon, and what he doesn't know, which isn't much, we'll do our best to fill him in and help him out.
Yeah, he is a multiple Ironman champion and he's finished 4th and 5th at Kona.
Yeah, that's enough just to run the show on his own, I think. Yeah.
Definitely. I don't know if you've guessed it yet, he's South African. Not sure we can give you much more. Are you there?
Well, you're going to find out now. Let's give him a call. Well, welcome, James Cunnama. We're really excited to announce he is joining the GTN team. How are you doing, James?
Hi Mark, hi Heather. Yeah, thanks. And thanks for welcoming me to the team. I'm really excited to be joining you guys as a presenter and sharing all things triathlon with you guys and the viewers of GTN.
So obviously this means you are going to be moving to the UK and joining the team here, but with that, leaving what is probably the perfect triathlon training location, is that a little bit devastating?
The reality is I'm no longer a professional athlete. I can't follow the best weather for triathlon around the world anymore. We've had a really good time here in Stellenbosch for the last 10 years or so. It's a special place for triathlon training and in general, really. But yeah, the reality is I'll be leaving it behind and heading to the sunny shores of the UK soon.
Well, James, we know that you're waiting until the sunshine arrives in the UK, and we promise it's going to be here soon. So I'm hoping you're going to be with us very soon. But what do you have a sort of estimation of when you're actually going to be here joining us in the set?
Ideally, I'd already be there, to be honest. We would love to have travelled already, but obviously I'm waiting on a very slow visa process. And also, we've got to navigate this whole COVID travel situation. At the moment, we're got a South African variant of concern. So getting into the UK is proving a bit tricky. Hopefully we'll be there really soon though, and can join you guys live and in person in the studio.
And bringing the whole family with you, which is no easy task as well, with quarantine restrictions, etc. I'm sure. Yeah,
we're really looking forward to it. I think the family's looking forward to the adventure, and of course, grandparents and cousins live right near the GTN offices, so that's a big bonus. Jodie's really looking forward to being near her family, so we're excited about that. It is a big move though, moving the whole troop over to the UK.
Well, yeah, it was meant to be almost, I think, with your family being close by. We're super excited to have you coming over. Make the most of Stellenbosch whilst you can, but I understand in the meantime you've made a little clip for us, so here we go.
Hi GTN and welcome to Stellenbosch. This has been home to my wife and myself for the last 10 years or so, and our training base, of course. Soon we'll be leaving it for those sunny shores of the UK, but before we do, I thought I'd show you around. That is Stellenbosch, down in the bottom of the valley, so let's head on down and I'll give you the tour. We're on Franschhoek Pass now, my favourite road ride from Stellenbosch. It's a solid climb. The views are spectacular. It's to the top. The hill seems longer and steeper than it used to for some reason. You can go over and do a 7k climb on the way back, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy the view, maybe for the last time. Stellenbosch University fields. Many laps run around these fields over the last 10 years that I've been here. The university track, also done many laps of that in the last 10 years. And just over that wall is the university 50-meter pool, which I did many laps of. I won't be doing too many more of those now that I've retired. In fact, I haven't swum once since the day I retired. Another lousy autumn day in Stellenbosch. This is Yonkeshoek, just outside Stellenbosch. Mountain bike trails and running trails deluxe. I always did my long runs here, mostly because it's so tough. These days, a lot more mountain biking for me. I'm really enjoying exploring these trails. No training location would be complete without a good coffee shop. My favorite is Right In, and mostly because they wash your bike while you're drinking your coffee. What more could you ask for? Mark says he'll do that for me in the GTN offices though, so it's all good. Hope you guys enjoyed that little tour of Stellenbosch and everything we're saying goodbye to here. As you can see behind me, the house is on the market. Actually, it's already sold. So we'll be there in the GTN offices soon. Looking forward to it. Aren't we, Jade? Yes. Yes, we're looking forward to it. See you guys soon.
Well, I've got to say that does look amazing. I've got very fond memories of training out in Stellenbosch as well as Fraser. Have you?
I haven't trained. I've had coffee in Stellenbosch with Flora, and I have had plenty of wine in Franschhoek and driven through, not all at the same time.
Light class as training.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good culinary experience for sure.
Well, it does sound obviously incredibly frustrating for James right now. Keen to get over to the UK, which is slightly odd, but okay. But yeah, we are stay in touch with James over the coming weeks, and hopefully he'll be sat here with us very soon.
Ooh, can't wait.
On with the show.
All right, it's now time for Reacts, where we take a look at some of the stories and things that the pros are up to. And you can feel that pressure building amongst the ITU athletes with the Olympic Games now just a few months away this summer. And sadly, it's not all brilliant news from some of them.
No, there's a particular athlete that has been relatively quiet, and you've probably noticed as well, Heather. He hasn't arrived at some of the races, the Super League Arena Games, despite his partner, Rachel Clam, arriving at them. So it's Richard Murray, and he's actually just come out saying that he has AFib, which is a heart condition, atrial fibrillation, which he's gone on to say it just simply means his heart goes out of rhythm. Apparently, a lot of top athletes do have it and have had it. It tends to come on later in the career as you get older, but obviously it is quite a big health concern and something that needs to be taken quite seriously. So currently he's obviously going through all of that. So it's been incredibly tough couple of months. They're trying to do everything they can to get back to competing, and yeah, big thanks to everyone obviously that's helping him through that. Yeah,
I mean, we had wondered, like you say, we'd seen his wife competing at events, and I was just sort of wondering, especially Super League, he's normally so dominant there. So fingers crossed he can get it sorted, but obviously it's a pretty tough year with the time pressure really building now.
Yeah, and it's certainly not something, something so big like that, to then have that pressure of the Olympics on top of that is, well, anyway, the next thing though, slightly...
Bit more lighthearted.
Yeah, a bit more lighthearted. I've really enjoyed following this. Is Tommy Safiris, who, Tom is an ex-pro elite athlete, very good athlete. He's partner obviously to Katie Safiris, and is a very, very good photographer. Most of the ITU images you'll see come from him. Well, he actually trains, or does a little bit of training with the squad that Katie trains in, so the likes of Vincent Louis, Martin van Riel, and so on. Well, Vincent Louis has actually challenged him to something called the Sub 52 Challenge. I don't know where that's come from. I guess they've just made up themselves.
Yeah, well, I was wondering where it had come from, and I'd seen a little clip of it, and I thought, so it's sub 52 for his 200-meter run, is that right, and a 50 swim, and I thought it was like one then the other, and I watched the swim, and he was going flat out on this swim, and I sort of watched it, and I thought, hang on, that's like way quicker than 52 seconds. I didn't realise it was both together.
Yeah, so he managed to do the 200 metres in 26.15. So that meant that he needed to go under 25.84 in the pool, which is going some. That's impressive.
A long course as
for
well.
someone that's retired as well, remember. So this guy is a photographer. Anyway, he managed to, he got the race suit on and finished with a 25.82.
You couldn't write that, could you?
Yeah, so he went 51.97. And you know what the big incentive of all this was? Is the fact that Vincent Louis said he'd basically buy him Indian dinners for an entire week. So there's actually, on his stories, there was images of him enjoying these Indians, and apparently Vincent actually treated them to sushi one evening just to mix things up.
I was going to say, you're not going to be wanting to try and run 200 metres each morning after having a curry every night for a week, are you?
No, we'll see how Katie gets on in Yokohama, because it might be the secret
diet.
ingredient. Yeah. Talking of which, we are really enjoying seeing a lot of those ITU athletes posting up about the fact that they're off to Yokohama, which is this weekend. It's the first big WTS series race.
In so long, isn't it? It's been, well, I can't remember when the last full, the race with sort of pretty much all the athletes there. And this one, obviously, with the Olympics, they're desperate to go and compete. And some of them are still yet to qualify within their nation, even if they've qualified on the ranking. So there's a lot to play for. And it's going to be interesting to see. Some athletes are more just testing where they are. Some got that qualification pressure on their shoulders. And obviously, it's just a completely different environment, flying out there, staying in a quarantine in a hotel, and I think just coming out to compete. And, it's just sort of a very different
I think this one's
environment.
Interesting as well, because I imagine a lot of them are going in as late as possible because of the swimming issues.
Yeah.
I don't know what the ins and outs are to whether they
Unless they
cancel
have a
this.
hotel, like I know in the recent challenge race in Miami, I think there was a pool in the hotel. So I remember Lucy and people posting that they were allowed to swim there, but it was only them. So if they're in a bubble, but who knows? But there's quite a few
before we
heading
move
out,
on.
isn't there? Oh.
Predictions?
Oh gosh.
Put you on the spot here.
I haven't even looked at the full start
Neither have I,
list.
but come on, anyone you think.
Katie Zaferes for the women's, just because we've been chatting about her, has come to the top of my head. I don't even know. Christian Blumenfeld.
Yeah, fair enough.
They were literally just plucked. You've had longer now.
I was going to say Vincent Louis. And,
of course,
I'm maybe going to throw out there Spivey, maybe. I don't know why, but I just
We're
feel
getting
like...
a bit American on the girls' side.
Yeah, exactly.
The Brits are there, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think so.
They are. Yeah, we probably should back them, shouldn't we? But finally, and many of you probably witnessed and watched this, it was the TT from the Giro, which, wow, Filippo Ganna went on to win it, and if anyone saw the numbers that he was churning out, obviously if you watch it on GTN Plus, they actually had some of those numbers being displayed live, and I did quite enjoy this social post from Ineos over the weekend. They literally, the last 2 kilometres, average power 590 watts.
Average.
I know. Max watts 775. Although I will say, and I did notice that Ollie Bridgewood spotted this too. When I watched it, I did actually spot, I thought, over 800 watts, and Ollie said 860 watts. So yeah, I think they might have that.
Ollie.
Yeah, I mean they've undersold him there. An average speed of 60.7 kilometres an hour, casual.
I don't think I can average that down a very good mountain. But I find it really interesting that they are happy to just put those numbers out there. That's the best in the world right now, and they're not hiding anything. And I wish triathlon could take a little bit more from that and just go like, this is what they're doing. The top guys, I know, like Lionel and someone talks about his numbers, but some athletes are really secretive. And
yeah, come on, Jan.
That's what I'm
send in your data.
saying.
Send your data. All right, now for the Tri News, an exciting bit to start with, because we have our first female African-American pro into the ranks. It is Sika Henry, who we both follow on social media, and really quite an inspiring individual because, well, she's come through at a rate of knots, a fantastic trajectory, but also just incredibly humble, appreciating that she's got a lot to learn. She seems like she's a very classy runner, from what I can
think
tell.
she comes from a running background by the looks of it, and Hoka have obviously been supporting her for a while, so they identify that talent there. And yeah, I've just been following her in the last few months since actually listening to a podcast on Zwift, so if you guys do want to know more about her, I would recommend checking that one out.
Yeah, and well, as I said, really interesting one to follow, but also I didn't realise is back in 2019 she had a pretty horrific bike crash, and that almost kind of motivated her to come back and try and get this pro card, which she's managed to do. And it's just really fabulous story. So
Yeah.
excited to see where that goes.
It's a good step forwards for triathlon, and I know that it is just like a drop in the ocean, and we've got a long way to go. But this next story is again signs of positive change. So there's a new Power Up Triathlon grant that has been awarded with USA Triathlon, Kerr Sport, and the Black Women in Sport Foundation to 3 Black women triathlete age group athletes. And with this grant, these athletes, Janice Armstrong, Lisa Suarez, and Rhodesia Sutton, are getting one-to-one coaching. They're getting the equipment and access to training communities to help them train for the Philadelphia Triathlon in July. So it's initiatives like that, which obviously that's only 3 athletes, but hopefully that can then trickle into bigger communities and just continue to get more people into our sport of triathlon.
Absolutely. And now moving on, I understand we've got, well, a bit of a discussion around the Olympic Games and vaccines.
Yes, so there's a couple of stories here. So actually the IOC have teamed up with Pfizer, who obviously are one of the big producers of a COVID vaccine, and they are now offering it to all potential athletes or all qualified athletes for the Olympic Games in countries where they might not have access to it to have it in time. And some countries are already there or ahead on their vaccination, or some have already prioritised the athletes. And we talked about this a while ago of whether they should be prioritised. And actually here in the UK, the British Olympic Association decided that no, the athletes shouldn't be prioritised, and they're relying on the government rollout system to make sure that all athletes are done in time. I mean, Mark and I haven't had our vaccines yet, so obviously we can't go to the games. No, I'm joking. What I mean though is athletes
It's all that's holding us back, really.
The athletes will be younger than us, so it's getting a little bit tight for certain countries. And interestingly, it's Japan and Great Britain who are the only 2 countries who are in the top 10 on the medal rankings who haven't prioritised their athletes. So whether they're going to take up this offer from the IOC, we don't actually know. But it's interesting that the pressure's starting to come on, and countries are realising that they need to have this covered, partly because of the pressure that's coming from the people of Japan. And
this is the very interesting bit, which I didn't realise until these numbers came out how serious it is. Obviously, numbers are rising again over there, which is very unfortunate. But they have had a survey conducted in which 60% of residents of Tokyo have said they don't want the Olympics to go ahead. And of that, 40% of that 60% said that it should be on a limited spectator basis. To some degree, no spectators.
Yeah, I mean the limited thing, they've already said obviously no international spectators, which was announced a month or so ago, and as to how much, I know they're reducing the capacity anyway, but as to how much locals will even want to go if this is their stance. So it might not end up being such a problem, but I know that the IOC are working very closely with the organising committee, but also with the country itself. So it's watch this space. I mean, everyone is saying, everyone in any kind of matter of power is saying it's going ahead, and I think it's more just a matter of managing how it goes ahead.
Yeah, well, moving on, and we have the UTMB, which is the Ultra Trail Mont Blanc, partnering with Ironman. Not really sure what that means other than a bit of a partnership and 2 event companies, but what is interesting, if you're interested in ultra running, is that UTMB are slightly changing their format. Obviously, UTMB, Ultra Trail Mont Blanc, is still the flagship race, the one that everyone kind of aims for and tries to qualify for. But their World Series, which I might have got this wrong now, but Ultra Trail World Tour, is now being replaced by the UTMB series.
Yeah, I think
I've got that right.
Yeah.
And they are basically, I think it's 8 events currently that they're trying to locate around the world that you can go to and qualify straight into UTMB. As well as I think still those points races that you can do at smaller ultra races, but I'm going to have to do a bit of research into that maybe for when we try to do it ourselves, Heather. Okay, moving on, and you may well remember us talking about Adrian Bennett trying to complete the world's longest triathlon. Well, he's just completed it, which is awesome. We're hoping we chat to him this week, but understandably, he's quite tired, which we'll let him off really. So we're hoping that next week we'll be able to touch base with him, find out how it's gone, as well as maybe even having it verified by Guinness World Records.
Fingers crossed. That sounds cool.
Moving on, we have another epic triathlon. It's called the Mega Triathlon. It's Carl Thomas, and he is doing this crazy triathlon and also finishing by pulling a plane.
Yeah, so he is planning to do this triathlon. It's going to take 72 hours. But first, a little bit about Carl Thomas. So he's not new to these kind of crazy challenges. He's done 10 marathons in 10 days. He's done an epic cycle, and he has run a marathon pulling a plane. I mean, I don't know how I haven't heard about this before. So completely bonkers, but he's doing all of this, or he's done all this in the past, and he's doing this new challenge to try and raise £250,000 for Ollie's Army, a Poynton-based charity raising the awareness of Batten disease. Now, for this current challenge that he has got planned for July, he's going to start at Great Ormond Street Hospital, and he's planning on cycling 250 miles with a weighted vest. He is then going to swim 5 miles. I hope not with a weighted vest, because that could end rather badly, couldn't it? And then he's finishing up with a marathon. He's putting his weighted vest back on again, running a marathon around the airfield in Elvington. And then after all that, from what I can gather, he is going to run a length of the airfield, which apparently is 2.5 miles long, towing the plane. Yeah.
I don't really have any words to. I mean, it's just like the distance alone is impressive, and then to do it with all of that, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, massive good luck to you, Carl, if you are watching this, and we'll keep our eyes peeled and share it with you guys when hopefully he's completed.
Right, now on to the race news, and starting with Challenge Riccione, which was won by Thomas Steger, although impressively after a pretty average swim. He came out of the water over 4.5 minutes down, back in 28th place, putting a pretty impressive bike performance, but it was his run, a 1:08 half marathon.
Smoking, isn't it?
Whew, yeah, sent him flying through the field and taking that pole position. Interestingly though, relatively slow swims. They were all kind of in excess of 28 minutes.
Yeah, and the women's are 29, 30 minutes from some people that we know are good swimmers. So I don't know, haven't heard why they were slow. Maybe the course was a bit longer, or who knows.
Well, interestingly and quite impressively, Thomas beat Pablo Depina to second place, and then also Sebastian Keeley in third, although Sebi was pretty stoked with third place, having come back from injury and whatnot. Over on the women's side, we had Sarissa de Vries taking the win, who sounds like is someone to watch, because she was a good few minutes ahead of the other girls in the field, and impressive athletes as well. We had India Lee taking second place, local athlete, and Marta Bernardi in third.
Well, some exciting racing as well for the off-road version over at Xterra Old Mountain in Alabama. And it was a great day for the New Zealand couple, the two Sams. So it was a win for Sam Osborne and Samantha Kingsford in the women's. But there were some quite big names from sort of non-off-road triathlon racing, if you want to call it. So we had Andrew Starkovich racing and Eric Lagerstrom, and they were looking to mix things up. And we know Starkovich is very strong on the bike, but when it comes to off-road, they were not quite as fine-tuned as the athletes they were up against. And it turned out that I think there'd been a lot of rain the week before, so the trail actually had quite a lot of exposed rock, and there were a lot of athletes who suffered punctures. And sadly, Eric Lagerstrom was one of those, and he got a slit in the sidewall of his tyre and couldn't repair it and had to call it a day. Now, Starkovich had a puncture as well, but he wasn't going to give up so easily. He tried reinflating, wasn't working, and apparently he rode the rest of the course on a flat, still finished it, and I think he finished about an hour and a half behind the winner. But I think that's just massive respect.
Yeah, fair play.
For, you know, saying, I'm here, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to finish it. And yeah, massive hats off for that. So the winner was obviously Sam Osborne on the men's. It was Bradley Weiss who was second, and Josiah Midau who was third in the men's. And then Samantha Kingsford took the women's title ahead of Amanda Felder and Susie Snyder in third.
Well, I did actually see Eric. It seemed like he received a mountain bike just a few days before the event. I think it was a specialised stump jumper, and then he then had the spokes breaking on him, fixed them last minute. So it didn't seem like the
smooth sort of
it seemed like a stressful race for something he was just dropping.
And then still not to be able to finish. How annoying.
Yeah, but I'm sure he had fun doing it. But also, with all this racing going on, we do have a bit of an update to the PTO ranking. So I thought we'd just take a moment to run through that, because it's actually getting really exciting now, and I'm sure it's just going to continue to do that. Now, obviously, we had I'm at 70.3 St George the other week with that incredible battle between Lionel and Sam Long. Well, obviously Sam has done very well off the back of that points-wise. I think he bagged 102.33 points, which has bumped him up to pole position on the US rankings, which amazingly, actually, if you look back to when the PTO started out, Sam was like off the scale. It wasn't, he didn't even feature.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's just launched himself up to the top. Team Europe, Emma Pallant-Brown, who we mentioned actually the other week, she was down in 30th or something, is now up into into 5th position in those rankings. Then in the internationals, Jenny Metzler, I was going to say Seymour there, it's Metzler now, has moved up to number 3 in the rankings after that amazing performance, also at Ironman 70.3 St George behind Daniela Reef. So
she's bumped some pretty good athletes down as well, hasn't she? She's pushed Sarah Crowley and Ellie Salthouse down. So Ellie Salthouse is now in 5th, just outside the automatic selection, so she'll have to hope that she actually catches the eye, unless she has another race planned before selection finishes, so to speak.
Wow, yeah, and we also have the PTO stats site launching, which I think is very exciting,
Yes,
although I may be very geeky.
What does that say about us? I don't know.
No, I mean, this is cool. It's if you want to find it, it's launched today, stats.protriathletes.org, and it essentially is your one-stop shop for all things triathlon, historic and also the current analytics. So you'll be able to look at each athlete and see what points they've recorded and what results they have. I think this is really good. It's something we've been lacking a bit in the sport.
Yeah, there's not sort of one go-to place, is there? Because we've got so many different types of races, different brands, and you can't just look it all up and they don't cross over. So I think it's a bit like the power of 10 for running, I imagine. And, I love that, just be able to type in someone's name and you see all of their results in one sheet.
Yeah, and rather than having to wait until we update you in the show, you'll be able to just log in
but
straight away.
But still watch the show, because we'll still give you updates, of course. All right, it's time to take a look at your photos, and because we've been chatting quite a bit, we're keeping it succinct to just 2 different ones, but they are extremely either end of the spectrum. This first photo from Michael from Kenting, Taiwan, is a very immaculate looking transition area. Now, he said they never actually had a major proper lockdown, but lots of events were cancelled just due to precaution. So he was happy to race a 70.3 at the end of April. And yeah, here's a rather lovely picture. He said on the upside it's easy to find his bike because there were only 400 people in it, and that looks a very tidy transition area indeed, doesn't it?
It does look really cool. I like the 360 idea for a transition area. That's cool. And palm trees. I mean, oh my. Anyway, on the polar opposite end of the spectrum, as you said, though, we've got this one from Ian from Cirencester, which is just down the road from us here. He said, high winds and all-day rain doesn't stop UK triathletes. A great atmosphere and hardy marshals made for a great first triathlon. The lake was a fresh 11 degrees Celsius. And the bike had a diversion pushing up to 32 miles, probably because of floods. And the run was just puddles, muds and roots.
Oh my God. I mean,
yeah, the transition area is almost the swim as well. Swim up to your bike almost, isn't it?
That looks quite, I mean, if that's your first triathlon, it's only going to get better from there. And actually, it reminds me, my first triathlon was torrential sideways rain for the first half of it. And I think if you've got through that, then everything afterwards is just going to feel so much easier. And if anyone's watching and doesn't live in the UK, our weather's not always like that. And some triathlons can be really beautiful.
Can it?
Sometimes.
Yeah, well, yeah. But no, fantastic. Thanks for sending those in. And if you would like to send more in, then please do using our uploader. Links on screen right now. You can find the link for it also in the description down below. Right, now rolling into the caption competition, we have this photo from Ironman 70.3 Santa Cruz. We had a load of good captions coming in. We've managed to whittle it down to just a handful. So starting with this one from TKL. It said, taking a break from Christmas, Santa cruised in the Santa Cruz 70.3. Nice,
I like it. Simple, but to the point. Our next one up, Chris Fitzsimmons. Iron Cowboy Day 1 versus Day 100. That's pretty apt, isn't it?
Well, he probably wishes he would look that good after 100 days. He looks like he's in a lot of pain. Again, hats off to you, mate. You're doing a sterling job. Ty Martin, me in 2019 and me in 2020.
A few of us can relate to that one, I think. But our winner this week comes from Tony Thomas with this. Believe it or not, underneath these clothes, I look just like that. Really? I love it. Well done, Tony. Do get in touch and we can make sure we get a GTN cap sent to you.
Cool. Now for this week's Caption Comp photo, it is, Emma Moffat from Australia, tearing away into the water with her arms out nice and elegantly.
I thought it was a little bit...
well, yeah, true, yeah.
Egyptian.
Yep.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, please do get involved. Leave your captions in the comments section down below. But that is it for the show this week. We have tons coming up on the channel, including, can you remember that second-hand TT bike that I got?
You've been storing it for a while, haven't you?
I know, I have been. Well, I've been working hard trying to gather a load of parts to upgrade it. So I have a video coming on that hopefully this weekend if I manage to upgrade it in time, as well as how to get Ironman ready, which I'm sure many of you have entered Ironmans either last year or whenever you've entered it and now panicking, thinking, how do I actually get Ironman ready? So we're here to help you. We also have a great offer going on over on the GTN shop. So if you want to grab 20% off our swim, bike, run t-shirt, which sadly I don't have on today to showcase, or on our technical running t-shirts, then just use the code SPRINGSALE when you get through to the checkout.
Yeah, well, hopefully you've enjoyed this pretty action-packed show. Give us a like if you have, and click that globe if you've not yet subscribed to GTN. A couple of videos you might want to take a look at. We compared riding up a hill on a TT bike versus a road bike. Both of us did that in the video that is on screen now. And there's also, if you're working on your swimming and you're trying to break that 8-minute barrier for 400, well, we've got a video to help.